Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Yeah. Oh, this is still recording. Good morning, saints. I hope this video finds you well on this beautiful Friday morning. I know I've had a phenomenal week, probably. This is pre-recorded. Hayden, how has your week probably been?
It's been good, but when you said that, I immediately just thought of someone being in a very precarious, terrible situation, you saying that, and they're just like all sad about it.
I hope that's not you. I hope that's not you. To start off the episode, to cheer you up, we're going to do a side-by-side comparison between me and the General Conference mustache man, and we're going to see who looks better. 3, 2, 1.
General Conference mustache guy.
Yeah, he does look better. It's so full.
Good.
It's so
and
full
dark,
and well trimmed. Anyways, we're going to be back in the studio on Monday giving you current events through a gospel lens. But today, Hayden and I are going to share with you some of the most profound missionary experiences and lessons that we learned. Me out in Lisbon, Portugal, and Hayden,
Budapest, Hungary.
So, without further ado, my name is Jackson Wayne Paul, and welcome to Latter Daily Saints. Okay, so the story that I want to share with you guys today kind of makes me reminisce on the verses in Moses, the Pearl of Great Price, in chapter 5, when Adam, he is performing sacrifices to the Lord, and in verse 6 it said, "And after many days an angel of the Lord appeared unto Adam, saying, Why dost thou offer sacrifice unto the Lord? And Adam said unto him, I know not, save the Lord commanded me." This was one of those experiences that both my companion and I didn't really understand why we felt strongly to do what we did, but in the end, it resulted in something amazing happening. And so it was one Sunday, we were talking with members after church, and my companion felt prompted to go up to a member that we don't usually talk to a lot and asked, "Hey, who are some people that you haven't seen around church, but when they were coming, like they seemed like, you know, they had a strong testimony, but they might have fallen away for X, Y, or Z reason." And she gave a list of 3 names, and then he took that list, put it in his pocket, and we didn't touch it for like 3 weeks. And then one day we were going through trying to do our morning planning, and he sees that piece of paper in his desk, and he's like, "We could go visit this person." And I looked at the name, and I'm like, and I looked at the address, I'm like, dude, that's like a 45-minute walk if we're like brisk walking, and there's no bus that gets us out there. And we just still felt strongly to go do that. And so we head out of the house in the morning, we walk for 45 minutes, get to the house of this person, knock, nothing happens. There's no one there. And it was early enough in the morning that there was really no one in the street that we talked to on the way. And so we knock again, no answer. And then I look at my companion, I'm like, bro, we just wasted so much time. And then I turn around and I see this guy, and I immediately just feel the need to call out to him. So I was like, "Oi," which is hello in Portuguese.
Oi, paizão. What does that mean?
That means, hey, big daddy.
Does it really?
Oi, paizão. I didn't say that to him.
He has that as his ringtone when he gets texts.
So, which is hilarious. It's hilarious. Well, I say, "Oi," and he's like, "Oi." And he's just like this Brazilian guy in the street with a backpack on his phone. And it was like 11 a.m. And so I was like, the first thing I said to him was like, "Are you hungry?" And he didn't look like homeless or anything. I was like, "Are you hungry?" He's like, "Yeah, I was just waiting for an Uber to go to lunch." I'm like, "Cancel the Uber. McDonald's is right up the road. We want to buy you lunch." And he's like, "Why?" I'm like, "We'd love to. We're missionaries. I'd love to buy you lunch." And he's like, "Oh, I've seen you guys in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, where I'm from." I'm like, "Sweet." So then we start walking up the hill to McDonald's, getting to know him. Super great guy. And then we sit down in McDonald's and we kind of figure out his story that he had just gotten to Portugal from Brazil, and he came before his family to try to secure a place for them to live and to get a job, to find a better life for him and his family. and he has his wife and 2 little girls. And we just start talking to him, and turns out like missionaries had been visiting his house back in Brazil, but then they moved and they lost contact with him. But God had been showing him different signs that he needed to come back to him over the last few days. And then when he saw us, he just felt so strongly that he needed to talk to us and accept the weird invitation to go eat McDonald's with some 2 white Americans. Shout out to my companion, Elder Ishlawak. And we went up to, we're in McDonald's and we're just talking about eternal families and the gospel of Jesus Christ. And this guy just starts sobbing, telling us how much he loves his family and just how much he knows that he needs to be closer to God. And then we start teaching him. He gets fellowship by the ward, and it's just a really awesome experience. His family comes over eventually from Brazil, and a few weeks after that, we had the opportunity of holding his baptism. And looking back on all the little weird things that led us up to being on that porch at 11 a.m. on that day, to then turn around right when he was waiting for his Uber, and just thinking about all the things that happened. It was just like looking at the hand of God live in action. And as we were willing to do things that we didn't really know why we were doing it, but we felt the Spirit, we felt that it was good to do. And then we followed promptings. And here's the thing about being a missionary. You always need to have a plan, but nothing beats thinking on your feet and following the Spirit. Because if you go out and don't have a plan and you're expecting to just think on your feet and follow the Spirit, a lot of the times without proper planning, it's hard to not allow stress and anxiety to cloud the Spirit, if that makes sense. And so always have a plan, but nothing beats thinking on your feet and following the Spirit.
That's pretty sick. That's awesome. Did he
a Big Mac turned to a baptism, bro?
Big Mac to baptism. Let's write a book or do a documentary.
Yeah.
What did his family ever end up like? Did they start coming to church and stuff?
To my knowledge, they go every once in a while, but she comes from quite a different background. But
Super Catholic or something.
yes.
Yeah.
However, he's just been a solid rock in his family ever since, and so
That's epic.
I have a hope that one day.
Cool. Well, so my mission story that I want to share, there was this, I was in a city called Szeged. It was a big college town. And so it was actually like a place where when it came to like teaching like younger Latter-day Saints or younger people, like there was a lot of success. There were tons of kind of college age, high school age kids that went to this ward. It was awesome. And so there was a woman that they were teaching. She was younger. She was like 25. And she had been participating in the ward for, 9 months, but just wouldn't get baptized. Like she's going to church. She's almost has a calling pretty much.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the other companionship, they're like, we can't get to her. We can't figure out what's wrong. Let's just pass her over to you guys and then see if somehow you can figure it out.
And how old is she?
She's like 25.
Okay.
So we start teaching her, and we just bluntly ask her, we're like, hey, you've been coming for 9 months. You read the Book of Mormon every day. You participate in church. Why don't you want to get baptized? And then she just says like, honestly, the real reason is because I understand when I get on this covenant path, like I want to stay on it and I want to get married in the temple. I want to do all that. But I'm scared because there's just not a lot of people that are members of the church like to marry. Like the dating pool is pretty small. And it is like, here in Utah where there's so many Latter-day Saints, like the dating pool
is too big.
It's too big.
It's overflow.
I know. We should send some to Hungary. Let's just send some Latter-day Saints to dating abroad. What if we had a dating abroad program?
Trademark.
Dating abroad. All right, we're going to start it. So,
Called to date.
and it's not dating abroad. Like it's like dating abroad.
Yes. And we're going to call it, instead of called to serve, called to date.
Called to date. Yeah. Okay. So, so we were like, honestly, that's really valid. I totally understand why you'd be nervous about that. And so then we read something though. And I read from Mosiah 18 and I was like, I want you to ask these questions, answer these questions in your heart. And it came to pass that he said unto them, Behold, here are the waters of Mormon. And now, as ye are desirous to come into the fold of God, and to be called his people, and are willing to bear another's burdens, that they may be light, and willing to mourn with those who mourn, yea, comfort those who stand in need of comfort, and to stand as a witness of God at all times, and in all things, and in all places, that ye may be even unto death, that ye may be redeemed and be numbered with those of the first resurrection, that ye may have eternal life. And I was like, those questions that are asked, like, do you want to do all those? She's like, yes. And then I read the next verse. Now I say unto you, if this be the desire of your hearts, what have ye against being baptized in the name of the Lord? As a witness before him, that ye have entered in a covenant with him, that ye will serve him, keep his commandments, that he may pour out his spirit more abundantly upon you. And she's like, no, I understand. Like, I get it. And I was like, here's the thing, Nikki, this is what we're going to do. And I was being really bold at this point, like very bold. Some would even say pushy to some degree. And I was like, Nikki, here's the thing. I know in your heart that you know this, and this fear is a legitimate fear. And I'm not saying that it's not, but faith has to be greater than fear. So I said, let's do a fast. Let's do a 24-hour fast. And in this fast, I want you to make the commitment that if God answers your prayer, that if you get baptized, that it will be okay, and that it will be the first step, and that he'll slowly show you the path, and he'll give you that confidence. If you get that confidence during this fast, we need to set a date to get baptized next Saturday. And she was like, no, I can't do it next Saturday. I can't. And I was like, no, we need to show God that you're serious. Like, will you be willing to do this? And so she kind of reluctantly agrees. She's like, okay, I'll do it. She leaves. We get on our knees, say a prayer, start the fast. God, please give Nikki the confidence that she is on the right path and that she should get baptized. So next day we meet up, and she just has this big smile on her face. And we're like, so what happened? And she's like, last night, Elder Paul, I was so mad at you. I was like, how could he do this to me? He's being so upfront. Like, you were just being too upfront with me, at least I thought, and it really made me angry. And so I'm laying in my bed, and I had this prompting. I couldn't sleep. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, go for a run. So I get on my running stuff. I start running around the city. And as I'm running around the city, passing my old college, some of the churches and things like that, I feel this overwhelming peace come upon me. But then I get this prompting to stop immediately. So I stop immediately, and I'm just looking around, and I'm kind of like in this square, the town square. And I look down at my feet, and written on the ground is this: Jesus Christus meg halt erted, he said, which in English says, Jesus Christ came and died for you. Do you believe it or not?
Bruh.
Written on the ground in chalk. And she's just like, tears just started streaming down my face. And I do believe it. And I want to get baptized. And I want to make a covenant with him. And then she's like, but I want my mom to come, so I can't do it this Saturday. Can we do it the next one? We're like, of course. And so it was just such a testimony to me that, like, when you are willing to make a sacrifice, when you are serious about getting an answer, about acting on that answer, that God will answer in miraculous ways. And we were like, where is this place? We need to see. We went to the place and we looked at it. I took a picture. I'll see if I can find it to put in this video. But it just written randomly on the ground in chalk was exactly what she said. And it was a really cool miracle.
God's a good guy. He's amazing. Mm-hmm. He's amazing. Fasting and prayer is it's one of those tools. Going back to our video from yesterday, talking about the weird curse that came upon the land, that all things became slippery. Fasting and prayer is one of those tools that we can rely on to give us guidance, give us peace, give us answers, open up the windows of heaven so that God may more clearly commune with us, or that we may more clearly commune with him. Anyways, hopefully we share these stories not to be like, well, look how good of missionaries we were. No, it's like, I'm so grateful for the opportunity I have to serve a mission and for the people that I served with. And it was just such a awesome experience to fully rely on God. And if you're preparing to serve a mission, or you recently got back, or it's been 20 years since you got back, I recommend that you remember the things that are spoken about in the scriptures, and you put your faith in God, and you seek for those spiritual experiences even still. But until Monday, we're excited to see you again on Monday. If you're not looking at the world through a gospel lens, you're only getting half the story. God bless you.